Hello, it's Concord Wind. Prepare a passage of God's words. God says, "What is the path through which God perfects man? What aspects does it include? Are you willing to be perfected by God? Are you willing to accept his judgment and chastisement?" What do you know of these questions? Okay, so let's go through these questions one by one. What is the path through which God perfects man? The path is through his words, it's through his judgment, it's through how he instills the truth in you. And if you cooperate with him and accept the truth, naturally your disposition begins to change. It's a very natural process because as you accept the truth as the reality that you live in, you see the world differently. You see yourself differently. You begin to rebel very naturally. It takes very little effort, because if you truly accept the truth of God's words, if you truly do, it takes very little effort to change. Because as you accept the truth, you'll naturally begin to implement the truth in your life. It's the same as, when people hear the corrupt satanic philosophy of money makes the world go round, they may not accept it at first, but after hearing it several times and coming into contact with the world, they gradually begin to accept it and adopt it into their disposition and implement it in their life. And it becomes how they view the world. It changes their disposition in a bad way. It corrupts their disposition. And it's a similar process. It takes little effort. All you have to do is accept God's words and the truth, and your disposition will change and be purified and be cleansed of corruption as you accept the truth. It's a very natural process. It takes very little effort. All you have to do is accept the truth. And if you truly accept the truth in the depths of your hearts and see that it makes sense, it is the truth. It comes from God. It's the reality you should accept. And it's the positive reality. It's the only reality, and it is positive in what you should accept. And if you have this attitude, the changes come very naturally. And then God says, what aspects does it include? It includes, walking in the path of Job or walking in the path of Peter, being able to submit to God's will without complaint, getting to know God. To know God is to love God. So you know God and then you love God. And you see that his discipline, his judgment, and his chastisement are his love. Are you willing to be perfected by God? Of course. Are you willing to accept his judgment and chastisement? Of course. What do you know of these questions? If you have no knowledge to speak of, then this is proof that you still do not know God's work, that you have not been enlightened by the Holy Spirit at all. It is impossible for such people to be perfected. And by the way, the suffering that I endure, I thank God for it. I'm like, God, thank you for this suffering. If it is your will, you can bring more suffering upon me. Because I see suffering as beneficial, though I don't understand how I'm benefiting from it. I just trust God. I trust God with what I don't understand. I accept his sovereignty and authority and rule over my life. I accept that he causes me suffering either directly or through the arrangement of Satan. And I see that it is all beneficial, and I thank God for it, If you have no knowledge to speak of, then this is proof that you still do not know God's work, that you have not been enlightened by the Holy Spirit. It is impossible for such people to be perfected. They are only given a small amount of grace to enjoy briefly, and it will not last long. People cannot be perfected by God if they only enjoy his grace. See, it's words like this. Like, people cannot be perfected by God if they only enjoy his grace. And so when I suffer, I know that it's not God's grace that makes me suffer. It's his discipline or chastisement, judgment, curse, whatever. And, and I'm just like, this is more beneficial to my life than his grace. And so I accept it and I submit and I do not complain. And sometimes I even ask for more, Some are satisfied with their flesh when their flesh has peace and enjoyment, when their life is easy and without adversity or misfortune, when their whole family lives in harmony, without contention or dispute, and they may even believe this to be the blessing of God. When me and my mom argued yesterday, I could have taken that as like an opportunity to ask God why. Why can't you touch my mom's heart and open her heart up to your truth? Why can my family not accept you? Like, why is it like this? Like, why am I cursed by you in this way? And really, it's that God cares more about me than he does my family, and my family are here to test me. And Satan works through my family to test me. And it's actually a blessing, because it's an opportunity for me to bear witness to God in front of Satan and to shame Satan. And so, God's arrangements are very wise in giving me the family he gave me, And my family tempts me with their love. They tell me, oh, we love you. We're just worried about you. We're worried you're deceived, and that's the temptation of Satan. And it's a trial, really. And I pass that trial because I defend God's name no matter what. I defend the honor and glory and truth of God's testimony no matter what. I'm devoted and loyal to the very end. And if you've heard some of the music I've released, even though I didn't write all the lyrics, I've just modified them. But as a matter of fact, let me pull it up. So if you go to playlists, I've got some different playlists. Here's Christian rap. Where is it? Right, I think it's right there. Yeah, Fighting to Testify for Christ. Fighting to Testify for Christ. I didn't write the lyrics, I just modified them to fit into a rap song. But that is one of my favorite songs that I've released. Because I relate to it so much, because I really do fight, to testify for Christ. I will fight for the Christ. I'll stand for his name. It's just an awesome song, and it's very powerful, and I love that song. And that might be the song that I promote on TikTok, because I think a lot of people would really appreciate it. It's a really strong testimony, and another one I really like, if I can find it, Rising Up Amidst Darkness and Oppression, right there on the Christian rap playlist. That's on my channel. That's one of my favorites too. I love that. I think that is such an awesome song. Very powerful testimony. And I relate to the testimonies of a lot of these songs, because they resemble my testimony, my determination, my commitment, And so, yeah. I guess that's it for this video. A little bit of a little shorter video. Thanks so much for watching. God bless and goodbye.